In this tutorial, we're going to look at taking this Word document that we've remediated and convert it to a PDF document with as much accessibility functionality kept in the export as possible. So I've gone through, I've fully remediated this document, and I've also followed the best practices. We've got no problems according to the accessibility pane. I've deleted out the header. I have applied headings in the document. So if I click on this text, for example, I can see that the title is a heading 1 and the subheadings underneath are all heading 2s. We've alt texted the remaining image and we are good to go. There are a couple of different ways you can do this potentially that will keep what are called tags when it converts to PDF. PDFs have tags, and a tagged PDF is necessary in order to have an accessible PDF. Tags are sort of the content road signs in a PDF that instruct the screen reader how to present the content of the document to that screen reader user. A PDF that has no tags in it, in effect, is completely not accessible. So we want to have tags come out of our export. Your version of Word may differ from mine. I'm on Mac, so I'm going to cover all of the variations that I can here, in case you may have some that I do and you may have some that I don't. But we're going to make it as universal as we can. First of all, I'm going to go on File. And of course, a lot of times the obvious thing that we do in order to export a document to another type is Save As. If I do Save As here, I've got a file format option. And one of the options is PDF. Now, I want you to look here. There's a couple of options. One is best for printing. What is best for electronic distribution and accessibility? Uses Microsoft Online Surface. Notice that the default setting that was already picked was best for printing. Okay, that means best for like an ebook style format. If I were to just open this absentmindedly and save it like this, I'm going to leave that file name as test1 there. And I export it like this. If I go in and look at that PDF, I'm going to look at the tags. In order to look at the tags, I'm going to come on my right bar. And if you didn't have tags added to your Acrobat Pro, you can right click over in this bar and select accessibility tags, and it will add it to that menu. I'm going to open the tags. What I'll see is it says there are no tags available. In other words, all of the work that we've done in that Word document, none of the accessibility work is carried over. To make this PDF accessible, we would have to start over and do the complete remediation on it in order to bring it up to compliance. And that's not the best answer here. We want to keep all of our work intact, or at least as much of it as we can. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Let's go back over to our Word document. If I look here and I go back to File, Save As, PDF, the best for electronic distribution accessibility, I'm going to check that instead. And I'm going to leave Testo1 as the name. Actually, let's call it Testo2 since we've already got it on one. Export. Allow online file conversion to open and export of certain types of files. We're just going to hit allow. And it'll think about it, export it out. And if I open that one up and I click the tags pane, we have tags. It has brought the tags over. And we should always, when we export a PDF, look through the tags to make sure that everything is the way it should be. Sometimes exported documents, while we did our utmost in the Word version to make everything as compliant as we can, sometimes elements don't carry over quite correctly. So we always want to manually check a PDF that we've exported from another source. So I'm going to select the first document here. And some of this is information that comes from the PDF remediation tutorials page. And I'm not going to go too deep into all of that technique here. If you'd like to know more about what all of this means, essentially, I would recommend going through it at the very least the basic PDF tutorial. It will explain a lot about the nature of tags and things like that. So as I go down here, I wanted to check the tags to make sure that they align with the content type in the document. The empty space is paragraph. Technically, that's correct. H1 for the title. That indicates H1 indicates heading 1. That is correct. P is paragraph. That's right. H2 is a heading 2, which it should be for that heading there. The paragraph tags around it, another heading 2. It has understood that this is a list. We've got the L tag, that means list. If I were to open that, you could look at each item in it separately. Paragraph again, another heading 2, that's right. Paragraph for the space. We have the figure. Figure is an image in a PDF. And if I hover over it, I can see the alt text that was applied to it pops up. So we know it has alt text. If we wanted to go in and manually look at the alt text or change the alt text, we could do that. I would click the View More tab under All Tools. I go to Prepare for Accessibility, and there's a reading order button, and it will highlight all the tags in the document. And if I select the number on the item, right-click, Edit Alternate Text, I can directly see the alt text. If I wanted to come in and change it or review it or whatever, I don't need to change it, so I'm just going to hit OK, close this out. Paragraph tag is correct. We've got our heading 2. And if I go down, we have a table tag, and it has recognized this as a table in the conversion. T head is a table heading row. Table heading row is necessary for a table to be accessible. It understands the heading row, good, and the rest of the table bodies are as well. So effectively, we're good to just go ahead and run an accessibility check on this to make sure there's no lingering issues we haven't seen over here. I'm going to run the check. And it has 2 issues in documents. So I'm going to open that up. And they are issues with the blue circle with the question mark in it. That is the same as a warning in a Word document. That means that the system doesn't know if there's an error there or not. So it's giving you an indicator to manually check it. It wants you to check the reading order, basically the order in which the content is presented to the screen reader user. We would do that with this Z button on this right toolbar. You can add that by right-clicking over there, and you would want to select order. And I can open the order tab here. And what you have to do to check the reading order of the document, it'll have the different pages in it, is just select, say, page 1 in this case, and we use our arrow keys to go down. And what we're doing is we're going through the tags to make sure that they're in the right order. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 4 is kind of out of order, but it's a blank space, so we don't really have to worry about it. It's not going to cause us any problem. Next page, 1, the heading, 2, the table, and 3, an empty space. So the reading order is okay. We'll go back and do our accessibility check again. And we can right-click on logical reading order, hit pass. Reading order is fine. Oops, pass. There we go. Hit fail for some reason. Color contrast. We talked about color contrast earlier. We're not going to have any color contrast issues in this document because effectively it's black text on white. So we know that that's fine. Past that. And this PDF is good to save and upload to the system. Another option for generating a tagged PDF in Microsoft Word, if you would prefer, is to use the function in the Acrobat tab. If you have an Acrobat tab, you may not. There's a Create PDF button in here. I can use that. And it gives me this little pop-up. I'm just going to hit yes. And you will see it flips over to Adobe Acrobat, and it has a little conversion bar showing the progress of the conversion to PDF. It will get there and automatically load it in the system. Typically, you have to save it immediately because while it's generated it hasn't saved it with a file name. In this case, we will call it test03. And again, we want to check, make sure tags are in place, open the tags. And the tags are exactly like they were in the other one we generated. So that may be an easier answer for you to generate accessible PDFs from your Word documents as well. So now that we know how to optimize a Word file for accessibility and how to export it as a PDF to keep as much of the accessibility trading as we can, we're going to have a look at an exception to this. In other words, something that you can't export completely accessible to PDF, and that would be a fillable form, such as what we're looking at right now. The reason for this is a fillable form has actual areas on the document that a person has to be able to fill out. In order to make a fillable form accessible, it has to have fillable form fields. It has to have little fields inside of it. For example, here would be a radio buttons to select yes or no. They need to be able to type in here to have employee name WUID, things like that. That is not a functionality that you will get when you export that Word file to PDF. You can essentially have it properly tagged in terms of all the content that's on the page, but it is still going to require PDF remediation in order to add the fillable fields. So that's something very important to keep in mind. If you're doing a form, you are still going to have to remediate the PDF in order to make it an interactive fillable form.